machine. He's got a bit. Oh, gang, we're into the hub rail. He's got a bit of a gap there. Top three pulling away now from fourth place Gangler. So they've picked up the pace. Paul feeling racy again. Let's just cut tires cool off a little bit. Then it goes right back at Warren. The leader's now coming up on Carl Becker to put him a lap down. Becker does a great job staying out of the way, but let's see what happens if Keith Powell maybe wants to get a little racy here and try to use Becker as a pick. As Cal Clark also turning up the wick now, trying to get to the rear Nerf bar of Powell. He sees the lap car of Becker, and looks like he's ready to start doing some dicing with the top two. Becker slides high and he's going to let everybody by. So really a non-issue for the top three. Great job by Carl Becker. Gangler has caught that top three. He's reeled in Kyle Clark. Steve Callahan not letting go of the rear Nerf bar of that number 25. Waiting for any small mistake. Here comes Callahan on Gangler. Callahan and Gangler through 3 and 4 side by side and down the chute. They continue side by side out of 2. And Callahan gets the job done. Now he sets sail on Kyle Clark. Patience paying off for steady Steve Callahan. The leaders are really pulled out now. Top two. About 10 car lengths back to Clark. Almost a straightaway back to Callahan, who sits in fourth. And 50 laps in, 50 to go. We're at the halfway point here of the SUPRS Gold Crest Mid-Season Championship for non-wing Supermodifieds. You're enjoying SUPRS live on Twitch and supers.net. So far, clean and green. Powell and Warren. Warren and Powell, top two. Keith Powell's right on the rear Nerf bar of Rob Warren as they come up to put another lap on Carl Becker. Top three are by the lap car of Becker. Great job again by Carl Becker, staying out of the way of the leaders and letting them run their show. You know, it's really hard to tell at this time if Keith Powell is just waiting or does he not have enough. How much car is Powell going to have at the end of this one? He is a master at managing his tires and is keeping a race car underneath of him. And save for a couple of mistakes here or there, he's always around at the end of these long races. Clark, you know, you can't say enough about Kyle Clark either. Still in the hunt. You've got your top three in points right now, running 1, 2, 3. Powell, if he finishes where he's at, can go ahead of Clark. Gained a couple of points on him in the heat race by finishing ahead of him there. Keith Powell dropped back a car length or two now. Whether Warren is picking up the pace or Powell is just trying to cool his tires down, hard to tell at this point. As we said, Keith just a master at taking care of his equipment. Rob Warren tends to be a little bit more of a charger out there. You can't say Warren doesn't know how to get it done in the big, long shows, because he's won the Topless 200 a couple of times, won the Summit Classic 125 for Wing Supermodifieds. So the guy can get it done. It's just that Powell is generally better in these longer races with his equipment. "40 laps to go here at Oswego Speedway, the home of the Supermodifieds. 40 laps to go in the mid-season championship. Rob Warren still your leader." Leaders coming up on lap traffic again. It's Becker. Just a little over 30 laps to go. You can believe that Keith Powell's really going to try to put the pressure on now. Becker's been doing such a good job of just going way high and staying out of the way for the leaders. So Powell hasn't really been able to capitalize on the lap traffic. Not a lot of it here tonight with only 6 cars on the track, but anytime you get that chance, you want to try to take advantage of it. Powell hasn't been able to do that so far tonight. And all three again, top 3 passed the lap car of Carl Becker. Rob Warren out to about a half second right now over Powell. Really, the guy we're kind of keeping an eye on is Steve Callahan as he works to reel in that lead trio or lead quattro. Kyle Clark could be the next driver that he can get close to. He's about a half a straightaway behind. Looks like the car's coming in for him late in the race. "25 laps to go. Rob Warren And in the lead almost from the drop of the green flag. You're just tuning in. This is Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, the original Supermodified Sim Racing Station, running rFactor here tonight at Oswego Speedway, the ultimate short track race car. Radically offset roadsters. We're 900 horsepower. Doing battle here tonight in a 100-lap race for the mid-season championship. And now top fours really kind of spread themselves apart as guys start to just try to get it home with the tires being wore out. Started the race with a full load of fuel. No pit stops in Supermodified racing. Going 100 laps on these big slick tires and just trying to keep the car underneath them. So it's all about knowing how to set up the race car and managing the tires for 100 laps. $15 to go. Is still Rob Warren, Keith Powell, Kyle Clark, your top three. And here comes your leaders. Back to lap traffic again. Now, it just seems like if Powell could get close enough and he could try to put some pressure on Warren as they come up to lap this car, that it might work. But again, Carl Becker's been doing such a good job at staying out of the way of the leaders. And really now it looks like Rob Warren's got this one in the bag if he can keep the car square and keep the tires on it for just a few more laps here. Top two are by the lap traffic, and now that leaves Kyle Clark in third and Steve Callahan in fourth. Gang were quite a distance back of the top four in fifth. Clark, car gone away on him, dropping back to about a straightaway in third place behind Keith Powell in second. 10 laps to go. We'll see how it rounds out here. As I said, it looks like Rob Warren has a lock on this thing. Anything can happen in 10 laps. And of course, it's a computer game, but you never know what could happen with that either. 5 laps to go in the Supers Mid-Season Championship here at Oswego Speedway. You're watching non-wing super modified sim racing on Twitch and supers.net. And now Warren has a 1-second lead on Powell. Powell may have tried too early before the halfway mark. Unusual for Keith Powell. We said, weird to see him going to the outside early in the race like that. And maybe post-race we'll be able to talk to him a little bit about why he did that. But it appears that it may have been too much too soon on these delicate Hoosier tires. White flags out for Rocket Rob Warren. Follow him around the racetrack here at Oswego Speedway. He's your reigning Supers Gold Crest champion. And he's looking to go back-to-back, just like Ray Sand, Steve Callahan, and Chris Hebron here in the Mid-Season Championship. Here he comes out of turn number 4. Rocket Rob Warren, your winner of the Supers Mid-Season Championship for non-wing super modifieds. Keith Powell comes home second. And then it's Kyle Clark with a great run onto another podium. That guy has not been out of the top 5 all season long. Get the victory lane shot. And we'll talk to your winner, Rocket Rob Warren. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break for Supers post race.